Hello everybody and welcome to COA Gaming. I am DrumForestDrum and I will be your host for today. Today we're going to be talking about South Park the Game, a 1998 first-person shooter with bad graphics, bad gameplay, and a storyline which is kind of out there.
That's the wrong game.
What?
You're talking about the wrong game.
I thought I was supposed to talk about the South Park game, the one from 1998 for Nintendo 64, PlayStation, and Game Boy Color.
No, you're supposed to be talking about South Park, The Fractured Butthole, from 2017 for the PC, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4.
2017? They made more?
Yes, the sequel to South Park, The Stick of Truth from 2014.
There's two of them? Damn, I'll be right back. I'm 20 years behind right now. Okay, right. Sorry about that, everyone. So, South Park The Fractured Butthole, a 2017 action RPG set in the world of South Park and a sequel to the critically acclaimed South Park The Stick of Truth. So let's start at the beginning, shall we? The game was created and developed by South Park Digital Studios and Ubisoft. It focuses on the new kid, which is played by you, as he continues his life in South Park. All the staple characters are still here, all the way from Broflowski to Butters and everything in between. The story starts off with you continuing the setting of the first game, where everything is fantasy based and you're the king still. Your friends knock on your door for your help to fight an evil army, and just when things are about to get interesting, Cartman, dressed as the Coon, his superhero identity, jumps in saying he is from the future and that superheroes must join together to save it. So the main characters of the South Park kids leave you and you follow to join their team of awesome superheroes and their powers. From there you get your powers, you get your secret identity, and you jump into the town of South Park to deal with all the crazy stuff that is going on. I want to avoid too many spoilers, so that's all of the story you'll get out of me, but I promise that it is absolutely awesome. The gameplay itself has changed quite a bit since the previous game. The Stick of Truth was based around the usual fantasy RPG action setting, with you having your class which has its specific abilities as you level up and them needing MP to be used. The Fractured Butthole changes things up quite a bit. It moves the whole fighting stage to a grid motif, and the characters being given 3 set moves plus an ultimate move to be used when needed. Each move has a different range on the grid, ranging from anywhere on the playing field to straight lines. Now a lot of people prefer the new combat compared to the old game. I personally agree with that notion to a degree. I think that it is one of these things that works well because of the superhero aesthetic, but I feel that the Stick of Truth's combat worked perfectly for the aesthetic it had, and therefore I don't feel either combat is better, but they are in fact perfectly thought out for the games they are in. As for progress through the game, you gain the option to have more and more powers, which is awesome. The one thing you must keep in mind though is that you can only have 4 moves still, so you have to make sure you balance your moves correctly, otherwise you find yourself in some rather hot water when you don't have any healing moves or support moves to help you in battle. As you venture further on your missions, you gain items known as artifacts, which increase your general strength, but also adds or decreases stats for your entire party, and you personally. So the artifacts you use should always be thought out based on the types of powers you have. Now, the one constant throughout this game is that your character's personal powers, which continue from the Stick of Truth, and that is your unbelievable fart powers! Your fart powers are extremely helpful, ranging all the way from pausing time to reversing time to summoning a you from the past. So there are 2 yous. Man, that gets fun. And what's more is, Morgan Freeman teaches you how to use these farts. These powers not only help you in the battle, but they also make travelling through the overworld much more doable. They remove obstacles that are blocking your way, reveal hidden items, and much, much more. One thing that was revealed before the game was released was the difficulty system. Now there is a battle difficulty system, but that only covers the battles. The other difficulty throughout the game covers the experience and also the amount of money you gain from battles. And this is actually determined from the colour of your skin. Yes, you heard that right, the colour of your skin. I shall let you make of that what you will. So I'm not going to go too far into the graphics and music to this game because, like the Stick of Truth, it's awesome. The graphics look fantastic and crisp, the characters and voices are perfectly represented as they should be, all thanks to the fantastic writing that went into the game. The music within the game is perfect, and every scene and battle has its accompanying score down to a T. So one thing that was brought up with the Stick of Truth was that it unfortunately lacked creativity for the female gamer. When it comes to a game in which you can create and customize your own character, a lot of gamers find this a very personal thing that reflects themselves. I for one always tried to make my character look like me. When it came to the first game, there was unfortunately a lack of character customization when it came to creating a female character. But where the creators of South Park made improvements is not only did they add a slew of character customization options for the female gamer, but they also added sections of the game where you can actually choose the gender of your character. Of course, in the fashion of South Park, they then made jokes about it, but they made jokes about everything, so what did you expect? Now, unfortunately, and I really hate to say this, but South Park The Fractured Butthole is not a perfect game. Although they improved on the Stick of Truth with the game time being extended by roughly 5 to 6 hours, which is a vast improvement, they unfortunately actually made it so there was less replayability than the Stick of Truth. The Stick of Truth was a fairly short game, but you could at least replay it by selecting a different class and seeing how that handled. The Fractured Butthole unfortunately loses this aspect, as it makes it so you can change your powers whenever you want, and by the end portion of the game, you have every single power unlocked, so you can just keep changing them up and trying different ones out without actually having to replay the game. Although this isn't a big thing, it does mean that if you do everything in your first playthrough, that's it. That is unfortunately all there is. Hopefully we shall see more content when DLC is released, but we shall have to wait for that one. Overall guys, I will say this is a great game. Is it worth that full $60 to $70 price tag that it got given? Unfortunately, like the Stick of Truth, I would say no. It's still not got enough to it, especially with the lack of replayability. Yes, it's a bit of a longer game, but still not big enough, which is a shame. The characters though, they're done perfectly. The story is absolutely fantastic. The gameplay, graphics and musical score is on point. If you love South Park, then this is the game for you, and I really recommend you buying this game. I got 18 hours out of this game and I enjoyed every minute of it. And on that note, fellow interneters, I shall say thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode and have a bit more insight into South Park The Fractured Butthole. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a like and let us know what you thought of the game. You can find us on Twitter, you can find me personally on Twitter, everything will be down in the description, and we would love to hear your thoughts on this. Take care everyone.